there's no need to put an imaginary date out there where we're going to enjoy our lives. I used to do that. I used to be like, I'm going to enjoy it on this day, insert this day there. Once this thing is done, or when that thing is done, or when this thing is perfect, or when that thing is perfect. And life is perfect as it is. And part of shifting this perfectionism addiction that we dance to all the time is accepting that the moment is perfect as it is right now. And that comes from leveraging discomfort. That comes from leveraging that energy of growth, that energy of release. And most people aren't exercising that. And that's why they don't enjoy their lives, no matter how much money they make. Hola, mis amores. How is your spirit today? It is another beautiful day here in paradise, where I call home. And today we're going to be talking about perfectionism. And I'm going to be sharing with you how the book that I've been discussing this month on my new book worth rereading series has helped me with perfectionism. So if that is something that interests you, if you are the type of leader who is living an amazing life and yet perfectionism seems to keep knocking at your door, I want to invite you to join me for today's conversation, because we're going to have a blast and we're going to talk about what it looks like to shift our relationship with perfectionism. So if that's what you are into, you are in the right place, because we're going to be talking about exactly that during today's conversation. I want you to drop a hello for me in the comments below. Let me know where you are joining me from, and share this video with someone that you love. Share this video with someone in your circle that you know desires to shift their dynamics with perfectionism and allow them to be served through this conversation. Today, I'm going to be talking a lot about perfectionism, and I'm going to be sharing with you how you can shift your awareness of perfectionism. And I'm going to be talking through how you can leverage discomfort to do that. If you desire to do more of that, I actually recorded a training earlier this week specifically addressing why powerful leaders leverage discomfort so that they can experience more joy in their lives. If you desire that training, if you want to have access to that, drop hashtag AgCon in the comments below, and I will send you the link to that specific video. Okay? If we are meeting for the first time, hola, my name is Jenori Pouncil, and I am the go-to guide for leaders that are living amazing lives. They have supportive ecosystems. They feel super great about what they are creating, and they desire to live their lives with a little more joy and a little more ease. There are parts of themselves where they are not showing up fully, and they want to be the best version of them in every single area of their lives. So they call me to navigate that process and to embody that version of themselves with a lot more joy and a lot more ease and enthusiasm. Let's jump into today, though, because we are going to get to it. Sage is sleeping, so we're going to use his nap time to talk about this book. So this is episode 2 of my series called A Book Worth Rereading. Over the years that I've been in this path of spiritual healing, I've read tons of books in all sorts of topics. And there are about a dozen of these books that I've read, over 400 books, but there are about a dozen of these books that I always come back to. And I come back to these books because they have been some of the most powerful books that I've read. They have brought a lot of these concepts together for me over the years, and they have supported me tremendously in enjoying my life and enjoying the success that I've created, and doing it from a place of kindness and compassion and ease and flow, which is something I really, really, really value. So last week, I introduced you to the book of the month. It is actually a very favorite book of mine, and it's called The Four Agreements. And book is by Don Miguel Ruiz, and he speaks about his traditions that are rooted in the Toltec teachings. And this is a book that is very helpful for anyone, whether you are a beginner or you've been doing this for quite some time. I've been at this for 13 years, and I'm still learning different things every time I read this book. I'm still pulling gems from this book every time I read it, because it's so powerful and because I am a different person. So when you're constantly growing, you becoming a different person every single step of the way, which means that the things you see are different in anything that you read. Which brings me to today. One of the things that I've been stretched by the most as someone that has co-created a life that they enjoy, someone that has a relationship with a partner that they love. Like, my life is pretty fucking amazing. I'm not even going to front. And there are parts of my life that I don't always enjoy. And I notice that that is where the perfectionism comes from. I've been observing myself and monitoring myself for many years now. And I've learned that perfectionism is one of the patterns of behaviors that I experience the most, that tends to really impact me at a really deep level. And this pattern of perfectionism is one that shows up for us, especially those of us that are very committed to living the life that we desire, those of us that are very committed to showing up as the best version of ourselves in every single area of our lives. Perfectionism can be something that we play with a lot, in a place where, and we can constantly find ourselves dancing to the beat of perfectionism. And this isn't necessarily a good or a bad thing. You know, oftentimes when we are experiencing perfectionism, we do believe that it is a good or it's a bad thing. We might be conditioned to believe that. I know I was. And what I've learned over the years is that it doesn't have to be that way. The perfectionism is simply a way of showing up, and we get to decide whether this is aligned with who we want to be or it's not aligned with who we want to be. And if it is aligned with who we desire to be, we can amplify it. And if it's not aligned with who we desire to be, we can reduce it. So in my case, I have discovered that engaging in the pattern of perfectionism doesn't serve me. It does not serve me at all. And there have been moments in my life where it has served me, and that's why I engaged in it. And now, in this season of my life, in this era of my life, I'm not into it. It no longer is in alignment with who your Nori desires to be. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because the four agreements has really helped me in seeing that pattern. One of the agreements that Don Miguel Ruiz shares with us is to always do your best. I believe it's the fourth agreement that he reviews. So, in this fourth agreement that he reviews, he talks about always being your best. And this is actually an agreement that I find myself challenged by, because being your best means different things in different points in your life. Your best is going to look a certain way when you're healthy. Your best is going to look a certain way when you're sick. Your best is going to look a certain way when you are feeling in love in your life. And your best is going to look in a different way when you are challenged. And because our best is constantly changing and is subjective to the experience that we are having in that moment, it really stretched me to begin to operate my life in a way where I always show up in my best. Because when I made that decision, the pattern of perfectionism really came up to the surface. In those moments where my best looked different, I will hear the judgment surfacing for me because it wasn't perfect and it didn't look like how it looked in other parts. And that's the thing about the four agreements and why it is so powerful. Because when you are in a stage in your life, it like meets you exactly where you are in your life. If you're in a stage of your life where you're finding yourself really stretched and you're finding yourself like you're not living the life you desire, this book is going to help you with that. And if you are in a stage of your life where everything is going great and you are paying attention to those tiny tweaks you can make to allow the floodgates of joy and enthusiasm to come through your life, the four agreements can also help you there. It has a progressive nature to it. And when I began reading this book, the agreement that I was stretched by the most was being impeccable with my word and taking things personally. I was taking everything personally. People would do something and I would take it personally. I would say I was going to do some things and I wouldn't do the thing I said I was going to do. If you have been engaged with my content for a few years now, you will remember the days when I used to talk about now washing the dishes with JP, where I would say I'm going to wash the dishes and I wouldn't wash the dishes. That was a way where I was not being impeccable with my word. And in that moment, I wasn't thinking, oh, yeah, Nori, you're not being impeccable with your word. I was thinking, I don't feel like doing this right now. I wasn't seeing the implications of my actions. And that is the difference when you commit to the journey of healing, when you commit to the journey of growing. That is what begins to change. You begin to change how you see yourself, and you begin to see it to change how you see your actions and how you see the behaviors that you engage in. And this book has helped me really calibrate my growth because it has been a constant tool in my toolbox for so many years. And now I'm in the point in my life where I'm really focused on always being my best, no matter what that best looks like, whether I'm healthy, whether I'm sick, whether I am in a great mood, whether I am in a not so great mood, allowing myself to be in the present moment and allowing my best to emerge. The reason why I'm talking about your best in relation to perfectionism is because when Don Miguel Ruiz talks about being our best, let me just pull it up. If you have the book, you can look at chapter 5, and this is on page 75. And in this chapter, Don Miguel Ruiz breaks down what he means to always do your best. And there's a part of the book that I want to bring your attention to that really inspired me to do this video with you today and to go deep into perfectionism. And he says, regardless of the quality, keep doing your best. No more and no less than your best. If you try too hard to do more than your best, you will spend more energy than is needed. And in the end, your best will not be enough. You caught that? I'm going to say it again. If you try too hard to do more than your best, you will spend more energy than it's needed. And in the end, your best will not be enough. When you overdo, you deplete your body and go against yourself. And it will take you longer to accomplish your goal. But if you do less than your best, you subject yourself to frustration, self-judgment, guilt, and regret. Just do your best in any circumstance in your life. By always doing your best, you will break a big spell that you have been under. I am a big fan of putting things to test. I just don't take the words that are on paper and I run with them. I test this shit out. I go and I live my life according to these principles and I see whether it works or not. And I want to challenge you to have a same approach. I want to challenge you to not take just the things that you are reading in these books as, the law of the land, and instead to go and test these concepts, to live your life according to these principles, and you see what happens. Why am I saying that? Because when you look at what Don Miguel Ruiz just said here, where he says, when you overdo, you deplete your body and go against yourself, and it will take you longer to accomplish your goal. That is literally what happens with burnout. Burnout is a baby that comes from perfectionism. Because when you're constantly looking to do things in a quote unquote perfect way, that means that you are overexerting yourself. That means that you are putting yourself in a position where you are depleting yourself because your best is not going to look the same. And when you don't hold space for the part that your best won't look the same, that's where perfectionism takes over. And then you lead into burnout. Because burnout is the physical manifestation of your decision to do more than your best and to not honor your best when it looks different than what you desire it to be. And then it shows up in the form of burnout. You're tired, you're overworking, so you're exhausted, and now it requires space for you to fully replenish yourself. And depending on how much you burn yourself out, it can take you years to replenish yourself. Yesterday, I was talking to someone that's looking to work with me, a really, really dope person that I am actually excited to partner with. So we were having a conversation and we were talking through one of the things that he's really gifted at. He has this gift for spirituality and this gift for teaching spirituality to others, and he's running away from it. Why is this person running away from this gift? They're running away from their gift because they feel burnt out. They've been in the service space before and they felt that they were just giving and giving and giving and giving and giving. And now they don't want to be in that same situation again where they are burnt out. What happened here? Did you catch what happened? This particular person was being in service, and because they weren't honoring their best, they burnt themselves out. And now, as a result of that situation, they aren't allowing themselves to flourish in their spiritual gifting and to serve in this way because of fear that they're going to experience the same burnout they experienced before. Excuse me. And he's holding himself back. He's not operating in alignment with his gifting. He's not allowing the joy to come into his life. He's still operating out of that fear, out of that survivor energy. And you and I both know that that's not the energy that's going to be in alignment with our highest self, with being the best version of ourselves. You and I both know that in order to get to that next level, it's going to require us to release these patterns that are no longer in alignment. And one of the biggest patterns that stands in the way of really powerful leaders enjoying their lives is this desire to be perfect. And the more you attach yourself to wanting to be perfect and wanting things around you to be perfect, the more vulnerable you become to things like burnout. The more vulnerable you become to the type of situations that lead you to believe, you hear what I'm saying? Lead you to believe that your life is not amazing. In my work, I get to talk and work with amazing people. And oftentimes, I notice that my clients or people that want to work with me are advocating for surviving. They are advocating for this part of themselves that was having a difficult time with wealth, that are advocating with this part of that are advocating against this part of themselves that, or for this part of themselves that is not flourishing at the level they decide to flourish. They're still shifting out of that energy. And that's why they don't really enjoy their lives. They don't enjoy it because they aren't giving themselves permission to enjoy it. They put a specific date somewhere out there on the clouds when they will be allowed to enjoy it. And they don't enjoy it now. And that's a big part of what the Four Agreements is going to help you do. And he helps us look at is how can we shift? What can we shift in our lives so that we can enjoy the moment starting right now? And that's a big reason why I wanted to share this with you today, because I know that I'm not the only person that experiences this dance with perfectionism. Every time I walk into a space, the first thing I see is what can be better. It is actually really wild. Like JP just laughs now. Because every time I walk in, I may not say it, but he knows that my energy is scanning the place and looking at what are those small things that we can address so that they could be a little bit more in flow. I'm always looking at the feng shui of the space, the feel of the energy of the space. And because of that, I tend to dance with this perfectionism piece. And what I'm learning and continuing to learn in this season of my life, you guys, is that perfectionism is a form of rejecting the present moment. Because the moment is perfect as it is, whether it looks like the way that we desire it to look like or not, whether we are experiencing the thing that we are desiring to experience or not, the moment is always perfect. And when we are obsessed with perfectionism, it is a sign that we aren't honoring our best. We aren't honoring that our best looks different. And we aren't honoring ourselves through the journey of being the best version of ourselves. And that has a huge impact on our ability to enjoy our lives. Because the thing is, Just because you have an amazing life and you enjoy it and you're thriving, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be challenged. It doesn't mean that there won't be moments where you're not stretched. It doesn't mean where certain situations are not going to feel uncomfortable for you. Quite the opposite. They feel very uncomfortable. They feel very intense because you already know the vibes. And the thing that changes is how you show up to that. It's your ability to respond instead of reacting. It's your ability to show up with power and with self ownership and with joy because you understand that what you are doing in your life, that the decisions that you're making in your life are not because you need to be fixed, are not because you're broken, are not because something's wrong with you. You are fully aware that the decisions that you're making in your life are a result of your desire to be the best version of yourself. You are aware that the decisions that you're making in your life are rooted in your commitment to being the best version of you, not just in one area of your life, in all areas of your life. And when you create from that space of wholeness, when you create from that space of self knowing and leadership, when you create from that space of knowing, like, yeah, I'm the shit, like, I do this, it is a different experience that you have. And perfectionism loses its power over you. Because what begins to happen is you shift the power dynamic from having to have things perfect to allowing things to be what they are and teach you what serves you and what doesn't serve you. And then burnout doesn't become a part of your vocabulary because you are creating from that space of love, that space of overflow. Like what's in the cup is for you, and the overflow is for other people. And when we are in that perfectionism energy, we're giving people what's in the cup. And then we get the burnout after that. And then we got to go and take space to replenish our cup to come back. And that is not in alignment with us because we know that we don't got to do that, right? We know we don't have to move in that way. And that's why I wanted to do this video today and share with you how reading the Four Agreements has helped me through this process. Because when you have a tool that you can constantly read and reread over the years, you can begin to see how you're growing. That's why I have books that I just reread. Because when you're constantly absorbing new material, it's difficult for you to see how much you've grown through the material. And when you continue to look at the same material, you can grow with that material and you can begin to see how every time you look at the material, you're learning new things simply because you are a new person. And like my mentor always says, every version of you will require every new level of you will require a new version of you. And the question is, are you open? Are you available for that new version of you to show up as you're looking to go to that next level of you? So, like I told you, I went actually deep into how you can leverage discomfort in my recent training that I did. I did a live training and I talked a lot about how powerful leaders leverage discomfort so that they can experience more joy in their lives. And the beautiful thing is when you are a powerful leader, you're always leveraging discomfort. You dance with discomfort more than most people do. And because of that, most people are calling you to get answers because you know how to be uncomfortable. You know how to be uncomfortable on your behalf. You know how to be uncomfortable for the things you love and you enjoy. And that's a skill that most people actually do not exercise. So earlier this week, I actually did a training where I talked about why powerful leaders leverage discomfort so that they can have deeper joy and inner peace. Because the number one thing I see with my clients, they now no struggle us like financially. They're doing great. They have amazing supportive systems. They have friends that they can contact. They have people that they can call. They have therapists. The thing that they're having the most difficulty with is enjoying their lives. It's enjoying that they have co-created all this success. It's enjoying that they no longer have to be on survival mode. They have a difficult time being in that space. And that's what they call me. And that's what we talk through. And the number one thing we use to shift out of that, I do it in my personal life and I teach my clients how to do this, is to leverage discomfort. So I did a breakdown on what that looks like and how you can do it too. Because again, y'all, these things are skills that we can all cultivate. This is not just a special thing that Yanori got. No, this is a thing that Yanori has cultivated over the last 13 years. And you can cultivate it too, and you can reap the rewards from that cultivation, the harvest of that cultivation. So if you want access to that video, drop hashtag icon in the comments below, and then I will give you the link for it so that you can check it out. Lots of awesome things for you to learn there, especially if you are living a great life and you want to enjoy it more. Because why not? Why not enjoy this life that you've co-created? You worked a lot, very hard to get here. You've done a lot of things. You shifted a lot of things in your reality, and it's time that you enjoy it. There's no need to put an imaginary date out there where we're going to enjoy our lives. I used to do that. I used to be like, I'm going to enjoy it on this day, insert this day there. Once this thing is done, or when that thing is done, or when this thing is perfect, or when that thing is perfect. And life is perfect as it is. And part of shifting this perfectionism addiction that we dance to all the time is accepting that the moment is perfect as it is right now. And that comes from leveraging discomfort. That comes from leveraging that energy of growth, that energy of release. And most people aren't exercising that. And that's why they don't enjoy their lives, no matter how much money they make. I'm talking to people that are making lots of money and they're still not enjoying it. Why? Because the money's not the answer to the problem. You got to be at peace with yourself. You got to be in alignment with yourself. And that's what allows you to enjoy your life more and more money keeps on flowing in. Until you are in that space, money is not going to make things better because you can't buy your way out of this one. I know I've been that type of person that I'd be like, I'm going to buy my way out of this. You can't buy your way out of healing. It's something that you must do on your own and you must walk through and you must be willing to open the door for. And sometimes it feels uncomfortable, and I totally know that. I know it's easier said than done, and that's why I dedicate myself to this work, because I know that when you have the right mentorship, when you have the right guidance, you can really cultivate the skill in a completely different way. And so many amazing things will happen because of that. So I did that training earlier this week. If you want it, hashtag icon in the comments, and I'll send it to you. And that's what I had for you for today's part of the book worth rereading. Next week, I'm going to be going into part 3. That's going to be the last part for this specific book. And during part 3, we're going to dive into how you can leverage this book even more. As you're rereading it, what are the things that you want to be looking at through your rereading process? Because then you can get more of the rewards. You can get more of those harvests that come from looking at a tool with intention and being able to apply what you're learning so that you can have more joy in your life. If you desire to enjoy your life more, enjoy your success more, and do it with enthusiasm, do it knowing that your life is amazing and you get to enjoy it right now. And that's the vibe I'm on. That's the vibe. That's the energy she on. And I want to support you in activating, igniting that same energy inside of you. Because when you are enjoying this amazing life you've co-created, when you are loving it, when you are appreciating it, when you are enthusiastic about it, you ignite a chain reaction of transformation around people that are in your orbit. People that are in your presence begin to see that it is possible to live an amazing life and enjoy it, and things not be quote unquote perfect. It is possible to ground yourself in who you are in the world and to do it loving life, even in the moments that you don't like it. And that is something that took me years and years and years of trial and error to get to. And now that I've tapped into it, I desire for everybody, especially those of us that have massive success, to tap into it too. Because I know it's powerful when you tap into it, because you are holding space for others. You are running your own businesses. You are serving as a catalyst for other people. And the energy with which you do that is everything. And when you are pouring into others from your overflow, you pour more overflow. And I desire for you to only pour overflow into others, so that they can only pour overflow into everybody else. And we can keep what's in the cup for us, because what's in the cup is for you. All right. I will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining me today for this really dope session. I'm having really a lot of fun teaching this series with y'all. My name is Yanori Pouncil. I am the go-to mentor for powerful leaders with supportive ecosystems that are living amazing lives and desire to be the best version of themselves in every single area of their lives. And do it with joy, with ease, with flow, and with enthusiasm. And I am here to make sure that you see things clearly. I'll see you soon. Hasta luego, icons.